All right. Good Friday, YouTube. How's everybody doing? Well, we're glad we made it this far. See what happens the rest of the week. But as you can see, the weather is putting a crimp on any plans we might have had or you had, or it is rain and snow from coast to coast. There's not many people being spared this weekend. It doesn't look like somebody's going to get a little bit of something. So, Crom, when you dig out, we'll just pass the shovel around and we'll pass sandbags from west to east as this comes through. It's supposed to be getting some good rain here, which it's not raining outside just this minute here, which is kind of weird. I expected it to start raining last night, but it's stalled on the mountains. It looks like even the radar here shows it with rain over top of us, but I don't see it. So welcome, folks. Who we got here with us? Angel R. So yeah, you're the few exceptions. You and the bottom half of Texas, it looks like, Angel. But you might get something by Sunday. You never know. Missed you in the chat last night, Angel. Is that where you sleep, Angel, when the storms come out? You don't sleep any other time. Yeah, you were sleeping then, Angel? So this is what we're looking for getting here. California's getting right at this moment. Why do they show the old video when they do this? Expecting mudslides and flooding all up and down West Coast. More flood alerts. Don't think they've expanded it since yesterday we looked at it. I still don't see any rain outside. Good times. Up to a foot of snow in the mountains. Everybody else getting rain. Should be a good time. But we'll let you know how much rain we get here. But y'all, Sparks and you guys over the mountain, bunker down, get those sandbags filled. Wild Iron Horseman's going to be in the middle of that. All right. So yeah, I'm long. You're stuck. You're going to be getting some snow out of this, dropping down to you. I would suspect. Good morning, Barry. Rain and 44 for you, huh? Right? Yeah, everybody's going to get a little something this weekend, it looks like, if you look around locally. I wouldn't go anywhere. It's not the weekend to travel, I don't think. Rain, rain, rain. Yeah, it's definitely on top of you, Sparks. It kind of shows it on top of me, but maybe I'm in that little pocket because it's not raining on top of me, but there's definitely clouds looking angry. All right, first message of the day. Let's go to a safety concern. Ford is recalling 350,000 F-150s and Expeditions. Everybody knows it has somebody as an F-150, the most popular truck in the world. Oh, it's 2018 trucks, brand new ones. Nobody has one of those. Nobody can afford one of those. Well, at least nobody I know. I don't think most of us know anybody that drives a 2018. But anyway, if you do, they're being safety recalled for what reason? An issue that could result in the car moving after the driver has placed it in park and removed the keys. Yeah, that's not good, I guess. That's why you should always have a manual transmission. And always use your e-brake. Didn't I teach that in driver's ed? But anyway, some safety information if you need to relay it to anybody you know. 2018 F-150s built in Dearborn, Kansas City, Kentucky, and Ohio. Maybe I'm long. Maybe you know some people that work there that might be able to get the company discount on the brand new stuff. But of course, they would know about the recall. Oh, also here's some 2017 vehicles. It's the 18 model year, though. I see. The ones built in 2017, half model year in Dearborn. Anyway, all right. So the information links below in the description box. So we've been getting some pretty decent employment numbers over the last couple months, and this month was like swing and a miss. This is going to hint the markets pretty hard. So they always got to be careful when they hype the big numbers, because that makes the little numbers look even worse. This really isn't the big concern of the day. It doesn't seem like, though, as bad as that number might sound. What's going on in the... Oh, no. Yeah, good point, Angel. Toyota trucks with black flags are the most popular in the world. Nice. I've seen a few of those. Yeah, big wallet for the F-150 there in long. More to come, Tommy boy. More weather to come. Thanks for joining us. So they try to cook the numbers. They overhype it, and then they get the numbers wrong. They underhype it. Everybody's saying, "Don't worry, unemployment's still only 4 point whatever percent." It's funny how we talked about they have the different Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers with the U6 and U9 and whatever. Like ever since Trump's been in office, the people that look up that stuff haven't talked about the real labor rate as much as they used to. You don't hear people talking about, well, the real unemployment rate is X, because they don't cook in all the numbers when they do these releases. But people are kind of quiet on that now. I wonder why that is. I need to look that up, what the real unemployment rate is. But to go along with that, the trade war kicked into high gear last night. Late in the evening, I guess you'd say. as we're asking for 100 billion in additional tariffs after the Chinese retaliated the other day with their additional 106 items that they were putting tariffs on. So they're considering an additional $100 billion in tariffs. Why a round dollar number? I mean, it's a generalized dollar number, I guess, but I thought they just put tariffs on items. Why are they looking for a dollar number? So the trade war is going in full swing. As of 8:30 last night, they were pointing towards a 450 point opening decline in the stock market. Where are we at? Looks like it's down 250 to start. They're combining the trade and the weak jobs number to account for that. It's hard to say. Trade war's definitely not got anybody confident, though, that's for sure. When we talk about people liking consistency in the market to be able to gamble their money away, your money away, the trade tariffs and stuff don't instill that consistency so they can game the market efficiently. Statement from the president. Unfortunately, China has chosen to respond thus far with threats to impose unjustified tariffs on billions of dollars in U.S. exports. Under these circumstances, the president is right to ask for additional appropriate action to obtain the elimination of the unfair acts, policies, and practices identified in USTR's report. That's the United States Trade Relations Committee, I think it's called. U.S. Trade Rep. What's that organization called? USTR. They mentioned it up here. I hate to get it wrong. United States Trade Representative, USTR. So the statement is here in this grayed out section if you want to look at it. Again, links are in the description box. Additional statements from the USTR. Fun times. Man, Walmart's going to go out of business if this keeps up. Walmart, Target, nobody can be able to sell anything. "3D matrix chess, that's what it is, Crom. It all makes sense now. I thought it was 20D, though. I thought we were at 20 dimensions or something like that now. It's above 3D level, I'm pretty sure. Wait, what? Angel, you got a strike from YouTube? I'm with you, Crom. I didn't know you could get a strike unless you made vids. I didn't know they even paid attention to people that made comments. They've let trolls run rampant for so long. You must have said you hated Trump, Angel. That's what it was. Somebody got their feelers hurt because you didn't like Trump. Or was it the other way around? We are indeed, you can do it. We are in fifth dimension chess level. Something we all can't comprehend and still makes no sense to anybody else. So there's your economic update, trade relations, jobs, etc., all ties together. Good man, Angel. What even worth reading? Just delete the email, right? Don't waste your time worrying about it. Zero Hedge has an article about the additional 100 billion in Chinese tariffs. So yesterday, just as the market, so Zero Hedge is having fun with the response and all this mess. This is from last night. They're comparing how everybody's going back and forth, making the market jump back and forth with them. So here's the nitty gritty in the trade tariff, putting the number in context. A 25% tariff increase of on $150 billion in total goods would block close to 30% of China's 505 billion in exports, a number which had been originally proposed several weeks ago before getting watered down to the $50 billion range. So below is a Bloomberg graph they pulled in. Tariffs are going to be focused on industrial tech and machinery. That's 537 items that are going to be tariffed. 241 different items under electrical machinery, including TVs and sound recorders. 164 in optical equipment, medical and surgical, including those. 152 different iron and steel products. 48 vehicles, excluding railway and tramway. 47 pharmaceutical products, 38 organic chemicals, 27 aluminum-based items, 17 railway vehicles and repair equipment products, and 16 aircraft and spacecraft products are all tariffed coming in from China. Ain't nobody can afford that mess. It's going to be so hard to see when this stuff starts having an effect. And as I say here, this is what trade war officially looks like. They got both of the full statements here as well. Commenting on the news, Bloomberg's chief Asia economist, Tom Orlik, wrote that Trump's order raises the possibility of an alarming escalation in the trade conflict between the world's two biggest economies. However, it's difficult to tell the difference between a rhetorical flourish from a president known for bombastic remarks and a meaningful shift in policy. Well, this is definitely a shift in policy. I don't think you can tell the difference now. And the final closing statement here in this market in the Zero Hedge article. Meanwhile, the market, dominated by algos and prepubescent math PhDs who have no idea what a trade war looks like, or even a bear market for that matter, was again dead wrong, and the result is that the world is now on the verge of nuclear trade war. Oh, that sounds dangerous, doesn't it? Ominous even. What's going on out there? I got through that stuff pretty quick. That's really all I had pulled up already. That's not going to affect your monorail system, right, Walter? It doesn't sound like it. It excluded certain things. How did they word it up here? Excluding railway and tramway. I guess tramway would be a monorail. But that's vehicles that go on those tramways. But it does have 17 railway vehicles and equipment on the bottom. So I don't know. Where does monorail fall in that? Is that the iron and steel that goes to make monorails that be affected? Because that's 152 steel products in that area. Well, trade war is a hot war, just not people dying from bullets. They die from starvation usually or other means in a trade war. Right, 0 Crom trade wars look like regular people paying more for stuff and struggling. Big business and unions make more money. Well, I wouldn't say that necessarily. The people do always lose, but also generally the worker usually loses because usually they can't sell as much of their product if it's one of the tariff products. And when they start selling less of their products, they get fewer employment. People start losing their jobs if it lasts too long. With those long list of things that China has tariffed, people will start slowing down production. Companies can only slow down for so long before they start laying off to account for wages and job loss and lack of income. It's a bad cycle. Are you cleaning up your comment? You're saying you cleaned up for me? You can do it. I'm sure we could have figured it out, dirty or not. Yeah, China using the yuan for oil before the end of the year. I thought they were further along than that. Was it back in February we talked about the Chinese yuan for oil? We talked about that. That was a while back. Let me pull up, see if I can pull up any figures on that. It comes up in the search. That's not good. It means it's actually out there. There's actually an article out yesterday on it. It's been around for a few months now. Oil futures in the yuan opened last week. Yep, they launched last Monday. They're already out running. So, yeah, this will bring your trade war to a head. This is out of Forbes, and this is from yesterday. Yesterday. Today's the 6th. And there's several stories if you look it up on the yuan going live with the futures market in Beijing for oil from 2 weeks ago, 2 Mondays ago at least. In a challenge to long-standing American dominance of the oil industry, China is reportedly planning to launch a pilot program to pay for oil in its own RMB. What does RMB stand for? Using RMB. Oh, goodness. They got to not define their terms. Excellent. RMB. Anyway. Two of China's top suppliers, Russia and Angola, may be asked to trade in RMB, and China recently began trading oil futures in its own currency. There you go. China surpassed the U.S. as a top oil importer, importing 8.4 million barrels a day versus U.S. imports 7.9 barrels a day. And like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the U.S. is exporting more and exporting a lot to the Middle East, actually. Yeah, this could get ugly. The new futures market received a warm welcome with a 20 million barrel turnover by the market close on the first day. What does this mean then for China's potential to use the RMB in oil import payments? And will this mark the beginning of the end for dollar dominance in the oil trade? Some say yes, some say no. I don't know how you can say no. I think it's an absolute yes. So there is a demand to end the U.S. monopoly over the oil trade. Nations that wish to reduce U.S. exposure to U.S. political risk, not to mention all the other risks in the U.S., may be eager to reduce the importance of the U.S. dollar in world trade in favor of stable alternative trading currencies. If a number of oil-rich nations like China would be RMB-dominated oil trade, the centrality of the dollar in the oil trade will be diminished. However, other analysts have made the case that due to restrictions on China's capital account and the daily fixed level of the RMB, the potential for extensive commodities trading in RMB is less attractive than other options. I'll have to get this over in the description box. About 5 minutes left here. So again, the question, will this end dollar dominance in the oil trade? They kind of repeat themselves here. China and Russia seem to be, this is their strategic goal, agreed, ever since the BRICS issues. The oil dollar has been convention since the Bretton Woods meeting of World War II. One-third of global GDP is generated by countries that fix their currencies to the dollar. The dollar compromises about 64% of world reserve currencies, with the next largest being the euro at 20%. The RMB compromises about 1% of global reserves. The RMB, I think, is their short abbreviation for the... Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. They still didn't define what RMB meant. Because the yuan is the Chinese currency, but yet they're talking about something else as if it's a currency. I'm confused. Anyway, it's interesting. The Chinese have been making this move for a long time. It's not like we didn't see this coming. People don't want to lose their status in the world and don't want to lose their foothold on dominance, as they say. So that's in the description box if you want to look into that issue. And there's definitely a ton of articles from right at 2 weeks ago when this went live with this market to trade oil in yuan. It's got CNBC, Al Jazeera, Wall Street Journal all have articles on it. So Bloomberg's article goes all the way back to the beginning of March. Maybe that's when we first hit on this. But they've been talking about it, threatening it and talking about it and trying to figure out how to do it. And it's live with people willing to support them, which is probably the more important issue. The renminbi, is that what that RMB stands for, Angel? Renminbi? Renminbi? I don't know. I don't judge whole articles. Whole organizations there aren't, Angel. I don't know if the whole organization on Bloomberg is gay. Are you talking about Michael Bloomberg? Maybe Michael Bloomberg. Is that who you're talking about? Oh, the renminbi is also a currency in the one. Okay, is that the way they describe it? They kind of I didn't understand that. Crom hopes that tariff haven't raised prices for RV carports yet. Need one this summer to prep for next winter. Well, an RV carport's going to need wood and metal, right? If you're using aluminum or steel, it's probably going to be higher priced, even if it's not from China, just because of supply. I don't know that I don't know that they put a tariff on any lumber products. I didn't see that on any lists earlier in the issue. Timber products, lumber, wood, but lots of aluminum based items, iron and steel, etc., are going to be affected. Okay, Crom, I'm gonna have to. You want me to ban you, Crom? We can't be putting falsehoods in the side chat. And Angel, I'll just boot you just for agreeing. How about that? We don't speak that name in here anyway. The name that will not be named. Oh goodness, you guys are off the rails. Well, we get prepared for the weekend. Apparently, out there drinking already. Crom is, it appears. Um, so we better get this thing cut off before it gets worse. Some of this stuff will drive you to drinking, I'd imagine, or maybe it's just because he's snowed in. But the trade war does seem to be alluding to a larger conflict. Yeah, that crosses the line though, Angel, don't you think? Crossing the line of the trollism. Yeah. All right. If nobody's else got anything else, it's time to wrap it up anyway. But that was a good catch there. The Chinese oil issue tying into the tariffs could be leading that trade war more than they're going to admit. Even if you cornered them on the question, like it's irrelevant because they don't want to even imply that the U.S. dollar to oil market can be challenged, but that's not the case. I think we'd have to remember that the Chinese people themselves are much more capable of enduring hardship than the American populace can even comprehend. I think that's the really scary part of this is China will put their people into poverty and the people will barely notice and Americans will be without their iPhones and they'll be burning down the streets. That's going to be the scary part if this thing continues down the road it's going is Americans won't be able to see the forest for the trees and looking at what's going on. Hey, good morning, Tim Harrison. What's going on? There's a video deduplex ammunition penetration test. Is it test like a wide variety of ammunition, or is it deduplex? Is that the ammunition type? Look it up on YouTube if you get a chance, right? Crom, you've been trolling since Dave, huh? Number one? You were there for episode number one? Man, you like special privileges and stuff. The videos in particular about one type of shotgun round, is that what you're saying? There, M. Harrison. I was trying to tell people after the Florida incident that if they wanted to see real carnage, if that guy would have had a shotgun and know how to use it, you'd really get your feelers hurt about the carnage that would be laid out from something like that. It'll definitely impact people's psyche to see something like that. Crumb, why you got to be a troll, man? Huh? Such a nice guy. All right, folks, we're going to roll it up, wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, coming out and joining the chat. Check out some of the news. Remember, if you got anybody that knows has a new F-150, they're getting recalled. Might want to go check that out. So, everybody have a good day. Enjoy your Friday. Get ready to go into the weekend. Truth Freeze, we talked about that last night. We don't repeat topics on the chat. Don't you know this? Spent a whole 2 hours talking about Deerfield yesterday. If anybody didn't notice, see the chat. You can go back and watch it. Pretty much came to the conclusion that it's going to be a big dose of nothing because they're going to get beat down in court, but it is a beta test and to rile up the masses into thinking that they can ban whole classes of, well, not even whole classes, by the list that they put out, because the town council there in Deerfield made their own justification. They banned every semi-auto rifle that had various different type of magazine types, plus semi-auto pistols and semi-auto shotguns with other cylindrically fired shotguns, which we were trying to figure out if that meant the judge because it fires the 410 shell. But we're also convinced there's probably not a half dozen rifles in Deerfield to worry about anyway, because it's such an uppity, upper class white neighborhood that nobody cares. They're all going to their country club and playing golf. By the way, it looks of it. So there's not going to be much resistance from the populace. They've got the lawsuit started there, and it'll go down that route. It'll take a couple years, and it'll come out in the end that they were wrong, and they'll have to rescind their proclamation that they put out and whatnot. No, I don't think town halls are going to be a concern, Truth Freeze. Nobody there cares. Otherwise, the vote wouldn't have been whatever it was, 6-0 or whatever. There wouldn't have been a unanimous vote if there was actually any pushback. I think they got 18,000 people that are all stuck in their own little world there, and they think they can make a difference for their feelings. All right, everybody, have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Live free.